integrity is more doing what you say you're going to do. But some of that is, being willing to show up and learn what the opportunity is. And I think you're right. As leaders, we too, it's so important that Debra and I are striving every single day to be better leaders for our team, better leaders for our families, better leaders in our community.
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset, everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer. Be sure to head over to clicksandbricksacademy.com so you can access all the resources to start improving your sales today.
Welcome back, everybody, to today's episode of Clicks and Bricks. My name is Ken. Today we have Debra and Mary with us from Epigenetic Scans. It's a little hard for me to say, but I think I got it right for the first time just now. But before we bring them on, if you'd like to join my text line community, it's 314-370-2871. I'll never try to sell you anything on that line, but I will send you monthly tips and tricks about business, technology, and every now and then some crypto news. How are we doing today, ladies?
Great. Fabulous.
Good to have you on. This is our first show with two guests, so super excited. And audience, if we screw some things up, I apologize now. We're learning as we go, but this is pretty exciting stuff. Debra, can you tell us a little bit about Epigenetic Scan and what it is that you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So Epigenetic Scan, it's a technology that we're promoting, and it's actually a technology that can measure your nutrition level or antioxidant level at the palm of your hand. And this technology, it's not new. It came about 15 years ago. It actually started at the I. Moran Institute because they wanted to come up with a theory in reference to risk factors for macular degeneration. So they contracted with the University of Utah and the Huntsman's Cancer Research Laboratory to build a piece of technology that would measure those nutrients so that they wouldn't have to take tissue samples from the eyes, because that's not too fun.
That sounds horrible.
And this is the same place where Jarvik invented the artificial heart, and that's where they created this apparatus. However, at that time, it was the size of 4 ping pong tables. It was massive. And one day, one of the scientists stepped in front of that laser, and it shot a wavelength of a measurement into his skin tissue, which correlated with the nutrient measurement in his eyes. So from there, they further calibrated that laser so that it would penetrate the skin at the palm of your hand. One, well, that's the most maneuverable for the laser. And two, we also know that if nutrients reach that site of action, they're passing through and they're penetrating every tissue and every organ in the body. So once that was done, Yale stepped in and they secured a grant from the National Institute of Health for $1 million because they wanted to start testing their cancer patients so they could measure the nutrient levels in their cancer patients non-invasively, more accurately than blood. And once that was done, one of our partners stepped in and bought the patent rights to this technology globally for over $100 million in cash, shrinking it to the size of a football. And in doing that, he, got the medical rights, and he also to place this in doctors' offices and facilities. And now we have 90 peer-reviewed studies on this technology, and people don't know about it. And that's why I'm here, and Mary's here to spread the word. So thank you so much, Ken.
Fantastic. So this is the device, you put your hand on it, and it measures the oxidation of your cells. Is that fairly accurate?
That's close, yeah.
That's close.
That's close. It measures the amount of carotenoids in your skin. And what carotenoids do, to kind of give you an idea, is around each of your cells, our bodies, if you have enough carotenoids, the carotenoids actually build a fortress around your cell. And we're constantly bombarded with free radicals from the sun, from chemicals, from our food, from pesticides, from stress. Emotional stress is huge, and even from sunlight. And so our body's way of protecting our genome, which is critical to our ongoing health, is to put this block up with carotenoids. And so if we know the level of carotenoids, we also can then judge the health of the cell. So it's this marker, essentially this biomarker, that has shown so much correlation in, being in higher volumes is helping people's immune systems and helping to fight off things that we thought we couldn't fight off. So it's knowing a little bit about your cellular health through a simple scan, 30 seconds and no blood.
Okay, so you said the word carotenoid. Can you tell me what that is? Is a carotenoid a good thing or a bad thing?
A carotenoid is a specific kind of antioxidant. So
Okay.
That's one that is in all of the colorful vegetables, right? So carrots,
Okay.
sweet potatoes, kale, broccoli. It's found in blueberries, all of your darkest, healthiest, all the things we know that we should be eating more of.
Right.
It's found in all of those. So those are the things that you can increase your score by eating more of, like by eating, 15 to 20 servings of clean, organic vegetables and fruits every day. But that can sometimes be out of reach, right? That's hard to do. It's hard to fit that much into your diet, right?
Well, in today's society, we want a pill. We want a fast fix. Right?
We do, but
Yeah.
I mean, even if we could eat that many fruits and vegetables, unfortunately, our food supply doesn't provide the amount of nutrition that it did even 50 years ago.
Right.
So,
Our food, not just our vegetables, but our meat. Like, I know that magnesium is a big issue, right? Without magnesium in your blood, your muscles they're not porous anymore, so they don't accept protein. So getting magnesium into your diet and there's no magnesium left in our meats or our vegetables for the most part. We've bred it out of almost all of our food. So you can really only get that in a supplement today for the most part.
You're very right.
Correct. So fantastic. So you've got this product. It's a scanner. And what is it that you're trying to accomplish with Epigenetic Scan? Who is it you're trying to reach? What is your next step in this business venture?
So we're coming from a standpoint of prevention marketing, because people, especially now with what's been going on in the world, with COVID and everything, I mean, people are out there and they are, I call it playing chemical lab with their body. They're trying different things, like Mary was saying, because we have to supplement, but they have no idea if it's actually working. Because without measurement, I mean, it's not science. So we are trying to raise awareness, because by raising that score, we're going to lower metabolic risk factors that can lead to cell disruption and things that cause disease later on in life. So we're creating a paradigm shift, because why does disease happen 20 years prior to it being diagnosed? You know, and that's kind of like, that's not good, right? Because then you just have to put a Band-Aid on it and take something synthetic or whatever it may be. So we want to get to that and put health back into healthcare. It's disease care right now, and that's unfortunate. So if people have at least this measurement to go off of, and we know what that's correlated with, and they can make improvements, because people love measurement, and so now they can see that over time. And we have a solution. We have something that's guaranteed to increase their score. And after 60 days for customers, if their score doesn't go up, they get their money back.
From the supplements that they purchased?
Mm-hmm.
So if they come in, they scan, and you say, hey, you're deficient in these things, and you sell them the supplement, and they come back 60 days later and they scan again.
Yes.
If they've taken those supplements, then they get their money back.
Yes, exactly.
So there's no risk, right, at all?
No risk.
Really. Fantastic. That is phenomenal stuff. So, Debra, you're the founder of Epigenetic Scan. Obviously, you've done a lot of work and you know a lot about this industry specifically. Can you tell the audience a little bit about what you were doing before Epigenetic Scan, right?
Sure.
So a little bit about your founder story. And we don't know if it's a possession or a motivation that made you jump in and say, hey, I'm going to do this, and this is where I'm going to put, this is going to be my legacy. Can you tell us a little bit about that decision-making process and any great stories of adversity or triumphs that you had during that transition? Like, what made it possible for you to really take this on it and run with it?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So my background's actually, it's in pharmaceutical and medical sales. And I did go to college for exercise physiology, so I was always passionate in that. I've been a personal trainer and everything. But a little over 3 years ago, I reached a point in my life that I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was praying that there has to be something else out there. There has to be something that, else that I can do. And I didn't really know what that was or what that looked like. But I knew it had to be out there. And long story short, during that period of time, I ordered an Uber to go to work. And in that Uber, there was a passenger by the name of Greg Waller. And unbeknownst to me, he was one of the senior partners of this company. And we had a conversation in that Uber like I've never had in my life, especially in an Uber. And when the Uber was dropping me off at my job, Greg handed me his business card and he said, "Debra, do not lose this card. It's worth millions." And I was like, hallelujah. Like, who is this guy? But I'm praying. So by divine intervention, he came into my life, and it's unrecognizable, number one, from that day in that Uber. But we locked arms. He taught me how to do this to the point that after doing this on a part-time basis for a month in conjunction with my pharmaceutical sales job, I fired my boss, and this is all I do ever since. And it's beautiful. I have a daughter she's 11 months, so I can do this, the privacy of my home. It's remote. It's always been remote, but now it's just trending with COVID. So, and that's the beauty. And, the residual, the money, of course, as well. I didn't know an opportunity like this could exist for me. Like, I am coming up on almost 6 years of sobriety personally.
Congratulations.
And that's just part of my story. Thank you so much. So I never knew like I could actually fulfill a passion and actually be a business owner and be a leader. But I've used a lot of those same kind of superpowers from my addiction time and in recovery, to this business and to becoming a leader. And it's helped me, and I've grown so much, and I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. And also too, the health of myself after abusing specific substances and so forth. I'm surprised I shouldn't be here, but now I've never felt better. My score is higher than Dr. Oz's, and I feel it, and I know, and to know that I can offer that to others is one of the biggest blessings, to kind of give what Greg gave to me to others who maybe believe that, what's my purpose? What can I do? Or lost or whatever. We have an amazing training. We have an amazing culture, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on sobriety. I know personally that's a hard thing to overcome. So congratulations there. It's important for you to be where you're at, to be running your business. So I know that was a challenge. It's a challenge for everybody that goes through that. So good work there. And I love the story of the share a ride in Uber, right? And that's probably the promo for this line. Like, don't always use the share a ride. Why would you miss an opportunity to meet somebody new and maybe exciting, right? Just click that button, save a couple bucks, and get to meet somebody. That's fantastic. So, and then Mary, you came on to Epigenetic Scan as a representative. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And can you tell us a little bit about your story, about how you met Mary and what prompted you to come on board as a representative? Because that's what we're really trying to do here is get the word out that this representation opportunity is available for anybody in the healthcare industry. And I think they'll all be shocked at how affordable it is to get into this business that you guys have created.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one thing I want to say is that, like, it's kind of interesting that Debra and I both have a similar background, but that we have people on our team who don't necessarily have a health and wellness background, but have a passion for doing good and for helping other people. So let me just put that little caveat in there, because I think that's important, that we're looking for really good people who want to be passionate and helpful. But my background is in pharmaceuticals too, actually. I have a bachelor's of science and thought that I would go on to med school. I had all the recommendations and all the accolades to do that, but I never felt married to the medical model of healthcare in the United States. And I graduated a long time ago, like 25 years ago. So when I graduated, there was not the talk of functional medicine or integrative health models or any of that. It was either you were going to go be an MD or you might as well do something else, because there just wasn't that other path. So I did go on, I did transplant surgery research, and then I worked in a large drug company. And the reason I accepted the position there was because the founder of that company was an incredibly philanthropic man, and I had heard about him. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to align myself with a pharmaceutical company when that's not really where my heart is, I want to make sure that whoever it is somebody that I, really respect. And so it turned out that I learned two incredibly valuable lessons looking back. One is that you take really good care of your people and you never have to worry about products or quality or profits. It all just happens.
Right.
And secondly is that in the pharmaceutical realm, quality is like the utmost concern, because patient health is at the end of that. And pharmaceutical quality became a passion of mine. I became an expert in it. I became a compliance expert for the entire company, and was very much focused on that. So when I left there, after I had my second child, decided to take a step back, but I was passionate about the quality. And even though I took supplements and loved the idea of health and wellness, I was concerned because supplements don't have the same regulation that pharmaceuticals do. And if we're taking them at this degree, like we had a joke in the pharmaceutical world that you could make supplements in a bathtub and sell them in the United States and it would be okay. And to some degree, that's kind of true.
Right.
So I was looking for an opportunity, and this was kind of before COVID. I knew that I wanted something that could be flexible because I have 3 kids now, and I had dreamt about a life where I could work when I wanted to work and work around my kids. And I told my husband that I wasn't going to move into another opportunity until they could guarantee me flexibility. So I turned down a lot of things because they didn't think flexibility was important. Lo and behold, then there's COVID, and flexibility is everything. But I was fortunate to meet Debra in an opportunity meeting. And she was like, I think you'd be great for this. And I had a passion for health and wellness. So I talked to my husband, and he was like, how could you not? This checks all the boxes for you. This is science. This is health and wellness. This isn't medicine. This is flexible. This is your own gig. So, for those reasons, it was like the perfect match.
Fantastic. I think that's a great story. I love how you guys got together, have similar backgrounds, but different, different trajectories in life. So really exciting stuff. And I'm glad that you found each other and found this product and you're bringing it out to the world. It's very, very important stuff. Anytime that we can get more information about our bodies, it's good, right? In business and in health, you have to create KPIs, which are key performance indicators. And this is a KPI that I think most people don't even know they can track, right? But if you put these machines all over the country, then people can track it just like their body mass index and all of these other very important key performance indicators on your health and wellness. And if you're not health and wellness minded and you're running a business, you are headed for a catastrophe. I promise you. You're gonna run into, your body's gonna run out. It will not last on you. It will fall apart at the worst possible moment if you're not taking the steps to maintain your body and keep a happy, healthy body and mind. It's very, very important for all business owners. I don't care what business you're in. If you have a lawn care service or like me running high-tech data centers, you have to maintain your health. It is very, very important. I cannot stress that enough. So thank you both so much for that insight and your founding stories. Now going on to leadership, right? So, and I'll put this out for either one of you to answer, and you guys can fight over who wants to take this. What are the key components of a great leader in your mind?
Integrity. We both agree on this, so I know, Mary, you can piggyback on it, of course.
Okay.
But number one, is integrity is the first and foremost, because we're looking for people, that are leaders to represent our company. Our company's publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So we want to keep that integrity, and we're looking for people that get it and not just say, yeah, I have integrity, right? Integrity to me is doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. It's somebody that wants to preserve their heritage, their legacy, and their reputation. Like, you're only as good as your word. And I never really knew the importance of that. But now it's like, I don't have time for that. Like, time is our most valuable, asset.
Right.
And if people are going to mess with it, then I don't, then they're not leaders.
So that's important. And you're in the business right now of not only you have to be a leader, but you're hiring and looking for leaders to go out and promote your product in these different regions all over the country. And integrity, absolutely. Is there a way or a tip or trick that you have, or is it just all gut feeling? How do you measure somebody's integrity by just meeting them in an interview?
Mary, you go ahead with that one.
That's a tough one.
That's good. Well, so, I mean, obviously, like in an interview, when you're having conversations with people, you can pick up a lot on how they answer questions and where their mindset and things are. But it's really the little things that Debra and I look for and that our team looks for. Are you on time for things? Do you respond to emails like when we respond to you? Do you follow the directions? Like when we are dealing with a new potential partner, we often ask questions and give some instructions about things that we need answered, or we need them to look at a video and give us their feedback. And if they ignore the steps, like, we don't have time. And it's not that but when you're building a team, you have to have people that you can rely on and that you can trust and that do, what they promised you that they're going to do. And so Debra and I I don't think we're cutthroat mean, but I do think we have high standards of who we want to work with, and when people come to the table, with their best professional foot forward. And I would say, unfortunately, in the times we're in, there's a lot of people who aren't bringing their best selves. And, the opportunities are amazing right now, our opportunity, but hundreds and millions of other ones. But if they really have to show up, and they've got to be professional, and they've got to, cross their T's and dot their I's. We're still looking for like old school people of integrity. Right.
I want to challenge you a little bit on the following directions and integrity. So, and this is all new for me, and I'm doing a whole lot of exercise in a whole lot of different worlds, but leadership is one of the things that I'm really studying right now, and I've been studying it for a very long time, and some new things have really come to light for me. And not everybody follows directions the same way, and I would say a good leader would say, absolutely, you need to be able to follow directions, and a great leader would say, hey, I understand that you did this wrong. How can I, what was it that really that you fell apart in following these directions, right? Could I explain it better? So really looking back at yourself and saying, hey, were those directions really clear, or were they really subjective, right? Could they have thought it was some other way? And I find a lot of, bosses aren't always leaders. They say, this is the way it is, it's my way or the highway. And in today's world, I don't think that's gonna fly over the next 5 years, right? As leaders, we're gonna have to really adapt to individuals and really look back at what is my role as a leader for this individual employee, this individual contractor, this individual vendor, and really treat them the way they need to be treated for them to excel, right? And I totally agree with the integrity. I just don't know that in today's age, and this is new for me, I don't know that direction following is a good key indicator of integrity.
Maybe that crossed over into another area that we really like to focus on.
There you go.
Absolutely. And it's important to be able to follow directions, right? It's really frustrating.
Well, I think part of it is that, when you come into an opportunity, you have to be in the mindset of being ready to learn, right? And so being coachable, right, is important in that. And I guess being the person of integrity is more doing what you say you're going to do. But some of that is, being willing to show up and learn what the opportunity is. And I think you're right. As leaders, we too, it's so important that Debra and I are striving every single day to be better leaders for our team, better leaders for our families, better leaders in our communities. I think that's absolutely, constantly. And Debra and I are always, coaching each other.
And I'm sure, I've not known you two ladies for very long, but I would take that strive word and throw it away and thrive. You're already fantastic leaders. You're already doing it. You're doing the work. You've done a lot of stuff already. You're building your team, and that's phenomenal. So these little tips and tricks are just stuff that we all use to get a little bit better, right? So what makes a great leader in your mind? Integrity and coachability, right? Leaders have to have some humbleness, right? We have to go back and say, hey, and continue our education as well, right? It's not, we don't know everything. We're just lucky to be in our positions of where we're at, is the way I look at it. So, fantastic.
Yes. And we lock arms with the other person. So like my time is vested in helping, for instance, Mary reach her goals. Because in order, like I said, time's the best thing. In order to have a return on that, that's for her to be successful. So I'm not going to invest my time in somebody that, can't respond back with what are your questions about what we're doing, or, simple little things. Those are just kind of like red flags over time.
Right.
So we're not meaning it in a way that's, bad. And like I always give people chances to, better or to explain it better. But, over time, there's patterns sometimes that develop. And if our time's going to be vested, because we're looking for people that, want to become better in every possible way. Like, I mean, me, I have a morning routine. I do things like I have routines. I always am trying to improve personally, spiritually, physically, and mentally. You name it, because if I'm not, then who am I going to show up as? I'm not going to show up as a leader, so that is so important. And we're looking for it's all about energy and who we're attracted to.
You're looking for people that are hungry to grow and really adopt to new, because you're going to have to adopt to new technology. They're going to have to read the manual, which is probably pretty technical. They're going to have to know all these new big words.
No, they won't actually. It's funny. It's good. I mean, we keep this so simple that an 8th grader could do it. No joke.
Okay.
We have this simple so dialed in, so they don't have to know all that, and they'll overcomplicate it. In the beginning of this business, because being a farmer rep, I was like going out there calling all these doctors I used to work with, playing like I was like a barking chihuahua. Like it wasn't cute. It did not work at all, and they were like, "Whoa, like get away!" Like I don't know. Some of them don't talk to me to this day because I was obnoxious. It wasn't good. But once I followed our system and what we have that's proven, to work, because we created Cash Millionaire every 3 days in this company, and we've had. At the amount, but I don't know if you know Mary, but it's every 3 days. I mean, this is what we have. So we have something that works, and it duplicates very nicely, because without duplication, you can't have freedom, right? And you can't have that leverage. So what I'm trying to say is, once I surrendered to our system that was proven, I placed 8 machines in the market that following month. So.
Oh, wow.
So, it works, and we're looking for people that say, okay, they know the way, let them fly the jet or drive the boat. I'll get out of the way until like I learn how to get on that captain's wheel and I can kind of move it around and know the direction. But we already have it, and this technology, I mean, it's so simple that like my nephew can use it. Right. Not my daughter, because she's 11 months, that'd be weird. But I can measure her on it. But it's so simple. It's easier than an iPhone.
Okay, fantastic. So you're currently looking for representatives. Now, if they get into your program, does that make them a representative as well? So if they become a user and jump into your program, can they also sell this product to other people as well? Or they just have it in their shop?
So in terms of the scanner, if they want to have that in there, so yes, they can either look for other business partners to represent it, or they can just have it in their facility. Let's say it's like a yoga studio. They just want to have it in their facility and measure their customers or their members of that gym and do it that way. It's whatever it is for them and how they want to grow this.
So your package, if I come on board with you, I can take that, I can put it in my current health and wellness studio, and I have a bolt-on revenue stream right away. I've got this supplement line, and I've got this new technology that scans the oxidation level of my cells and gives me a better marker of my health. But then I can also take that to my local market and sell to and have a residual income, have another business line. So I could get 2 business lines out of that one investment, is basically what I'm saying.
Even 3. I mean, you can also charge for that scan. Like we charge typically anywhere from $55 to $50. So that's another revenue stream.
Gotcha. So can you tell the audience what offer you have for them if they want to be a representative? Because we have a lot of small business owners. We do a lot of fitness and wellness stuff. Can you give a little bit of information about how they would get involved, how they would get started, and what offers you have for the audience today?
Mary, you want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, sure. So you'll see after there you go. You can do just text us #ScannerOp to either Debra or me. And what we'll do is we'll have a complimentary business consultation with you. We'll have you do a little bit of work, watch some videos about the technology, and get your questions ready. And then Debra and I will have a call with you and help you to determine if this is something that would be a good addition to your existing business. Whether you're a dietitian or a nutritionist, or you're looking, you have a fitness training business and you want to add, a profit center, this might be great. If you're a physician looking for a cash profit center, or you have a lot of people in your practice asking about supplements, this is a way that you can recommend something for them that our supplements are actually in the physician's desk reference. Very few other companies can ever say that. Ours are tested in the raw material state for over 600 ingredients. They're clean. They're approved by they surpass the GMP requirements of pharmaceutical companies. So there's so many reasons why these are great supplements, but that can add a profit center to lots of different, really anywhere people are concerned about health, wellness, or beauty, because those things are all part of this. Because the healthier your cells are, the slower you age.
Right.
so
this could be even a med spa or a hair salon. Really could bolt this on and get additional revenue. I've been telling people for at least a year, probably longer, that in the brick and mortar businesses that we have in the future, post-COVID, businesses have to continue to look for value adds that they can add on to their existing infrastructure. Having a standalone business that does one thing probably isn't going to fly in the next 5 years. As virtual reality and augmented reality, those things come more to fruition, and screen time takes more and more of our attention. People aren't going to be going to the stores and the brick and mortar things unless there's an experience or that they can only get this thing at that place. So having these additional things inside your brick and mortar business, I think, is not just a good thing for today. I think it's going to be vital to keep your doors open in the future. So,
Absolutely.
And can we tell what is the initial investment for something like this? Because the piece of equipment seems expensive. It does this really high tech stuff, and I was blown away when you told me what it cost to get started as a representative of Epigenetic Scan.
Yeah, so in order for somebody to come on board and acquire this technology, whether you're a rep or a physician or a facility wanting to implement it, into your practice, it is $2,800 roughly, and what that includes is it's called our healthcare professionals package, and it's a package of supplement therapies, and it's about $3,000 worth that we underwrite, so that you can acquire this technology. So typically what happens with that, let's just say this is a doctor, for example, they'll go ahead and they'll utilize those supplement therapies for themselves, for their family, for their staff, and have some on hand, maybe for their patients if they want it right away to help recoup that initial investment. We have supplement therapies all the way from cradle to geriatrics in that as well. So, that's up to them. And we back up that investment 90 cents on the dollar for up to 1 year, since we're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange for any unopened products. So if they win the lottery or they don't need to do this anymore, it's not for them, they can ship any unopened products back to the company for up to 1 year, and they'll receive that 90 cents on the dollar back on that. So, this is who we are. We're publicly traded. We're not messing around. And also, too, this technology, it's a $25,000 piece of technology, and we're not going to cap cost it out at that. We rather go ahead and have people acquire it on a user agreement, because this is our third edition. The first one was like the brick cell phone, and now we have it down to this, the size of half of a football. And we're a company of constant innovation. So once our newest version comes out, we'll be able to send that out to that person as well. And if anything happens to it, if it gets lost, stolen, or damaged, they don't have to come up with that $25,000, right? So it's insured. So the company will send out a new one. And also it prevents, we hope that people don't use it for their own personal reasons, like to formulate their own like ingredients or private label. And because we can go ahead and we have like NASA at our logistics center in Utah, where you can see like every, where we track everything. And we have a database and so forth. So it's a way for us to keep control of that and monitor it.
Fantastic. So roughly $4,300 for your first year of business, right, to get started. And there's not a whole lot of opportunities out there that are under $3,000 to get started, and you are. And not only that, the upside is tremendous, right? There's really no glass ceiling, because you can take this and use it as a bolt onto your existing health and wellness studio, or you can hustle up and sell this product to every other health and wellness studio in your geographic area, right? So when you come on board, you get a zip code that you can sell to, or is it kind of just go and run as fast as you can?
Yeah, it's go and run as fast as you can, because we're not limited by zip code. So in the whole United States, I think, Debra, we're right around like 5,000 of these units. Is that right? Placed?
Okay.
So there's a huge market right now. And in this world, it's so hard to limit people by geographic regions. And so it's really about building that network, right? So people already know people in health and wellness and people who work in health and wellness. Your
Right.
network is your network. And so our company really believes that like there should be no limits on that. So we have about 150 scanners, I think, placed in Canada. And there are scanners in some global markets as well. So Debra and I are really focused on North America because it's been slow to adopt here, but with the COVID situation, people are so much more aware and looking for solutions to help keep them healthy, because we can't rely on just the vaccine. That's not going to be enough. It's obvious that that's not the solution. We need to get healthier as a population. And so there's so much opportunity here in the US, to do that. I mean, there's thousands and thousands more places,
Absolutely.
probably hundreds of thousands.
I'm a huge fan of Western medicine for break fix. There's nobody in the world that does it better than us on break fix. But preventative medicine in this country is an absolute joke. So I like that a little of the Eastern medicine is starting to come into our daily lives. It definitely feels like there's an uptick of more holistic approach to health and wellness happening in our country right now. And I applaud you ladies for jumping on board and really, you're paving new paths, right? This is 5,000 locations in the whole country right now, and you're putting more out there. So congratulations on that. I know it's not an easy task, and training people on brand new technology, especially when the outcomes are somewhat subjective, right? This isn't something you take today and you're better tomorrow. This is a long trajectory that people are on their health and wellness. So there are a lot of challenges there, and congratulations for taking on that challenge. We need more women in the world just like you too. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
So moving on to the future, right? If you can bust out your crystal ball for me, where do you think technology is taking us in the future? And you can either take this specifically to your industry or just as a whole for our country.
I think it's going to be, like Mary was saying, more personalized. And I mean, we already have robots, like, right? So I don't know how that's going to relate to this, but where we're going, I mean, we've been featured on the Discovery Channel, and we have something coming out in the next 8 months or so. It's a heat gene chip. And with a couple drops of your blood, it can measure your genome and make something personalized for you. So like Mary was saying, we're going into that. And I mean, we have some really exciting technologies and so forth that are coming out in this market. But in terms of the world right now, I mean, everything's like AI, like artificial intelligence, like, even like I write blogs, and it's like there's an app now, like that will like write a blog for you, which, yes,
crazy, yes, absolutely.
It dehumanizes it. So it's kind of scary that it's doing that and promoting it. But who knows where it's going to go? I mean, I have no idea. Nothing surprises me anymore, especially with what's going on in the world. So
right.
We'll see. But in terms of healthcare and prevention with our company and what we're doing, the sky's the limit. And we have so much in store. I mean, we collaborate with 126 universities around the world. And on staff, we have 75 PhD level scientists personally hired by us. That's why we are the apple of the anti-aging world by the New York Stock Exchange. So, you know, we're innovation, and just like Apple, you know, we're going to go forward with or without you, and that's where we're at. And It's very exciting to be able to have that, you know, and knowing that, and because Wall Street projects us to grow over $800 million in the next 24 to 36 months. So. And that's Wall Street. So that's huge, and that's where we're going. And we just need to find people that want to help us capture that market share. And they don't need to place a lot of these machines. 8 to 10 of these machines, on average, can create them an additional $150,000 to $200,000 a year in residual passive income. So this isn't about conquering the entire market, you know. So it's exciting to be able to kind of not be in the forefront, but to you know, Mary and I, to really bring this to market, because people have no idea that it exists, and it's very exciting. But soon, in the next 10 to 12 months, we'll be a household name, and you'll be like, I remember, I know that one. We'll be everywhere.
I might jump on board, who knows.
You know.
Yeah, fantastic.
Add it to your boxing gym.
There you go. So I've been saying this a lot lately, that scaling a business should be the synonym for repeatable process. However, we're going into this tricky world where more things are going to be customized for the end user. So if you can find something like Epigenetic Scans that is a highly repeatable process that dumps out a highly customized product for your end user, I think you've hit the holy grail in business for today's needs, right? So you have something that's highly repetitive and scalable because the function of the technology is highly repeatable, but the end product is customized for the end user, right? Everybody wants stuff built for them, and really in fitness and health, it's required, right? Because we're taking this, you know, if I go to the supplement store today and I get a bucket of protein, it says a serving of protein is 2 scoops. Well, I'm 240 pounds and my wife's 140 pounds. The difference is wild, right? And fitness comes down to macros and micros, and you're really on the macro level, not the macro level more so. But, you know, obviously that there's something skewed there, right? We don't need the same amount of protein in our diet, me and my wife. We're two wildly different people. So I think you're onto something pretty special here, ladies, and the scalability of it and the customizability of it, I think, are really cool. So you're going to take their scan and you're going to recommend or prescribe almost specific supplements. Whereas today, you kind of you get your protein, or if my eyes are saggy, I get my collagen. You know, I kind of just, you know, whatever I kind of feel willy-nilly about today, or realistically, whatever the supplement guy gets the best commission on.
There you go.
It's probably what I'm going to walk out of the store with.
And you don't know if it's contaminated, or if it has in it what it says it has in it, or, you know, if it's been sitting in some storage truck. You know, some kid from GNC is saying, oh, take this, but who knows if it's been in the bathroom, or, you know, what's really in it. So now we're coming into this market, you know, with this firepower, and we're going to put that whole industry in checkmate. It's game over, because without measurement, you can't formulate, you can't improve.
You can't measure it, you can't manage it. It's just that simple, right? And I've been saying that for the last 20-something years in IT. So if I can't measure it, I can't manage it, it's out the door, right? It's just, I'm fighting fires my whole life. It's no fun. So fantastic.
So it shows, like the scanner shows the bioavailability of what you're taking right now, because so many people are taking supplements and they think they work. But so how many of us have said, like, I mean, is this really like doing what we thought? Right. I mean, because if you take blood pressure medicine, every time you go to the doctor, he reads your blood pressure and he knows for sure if you're taking it, or if this is the drug that's working for you.
I know people that start taking insulin 3 days before their next doctor's appointment. It's like, why are you doing that? Well, so the doctor's like yelling at me. I'm like, well, you should just do that all the time.
Yeah, but our scanner is like the nutritional lie detector, because with the skin carotenoid score, is more accurate than blood because it shows about a 3-week period of time.
Oh, wow.
Versus blood is like 24 hours. And we know this because you can alter your blood results by eating well for a couple days, or they have you do a fast, right? Because it affects the results.
Right.
With a scan, it's a picture of like your habits over 3 weeks, because it takes about 3.5 weeks for our bodies to turn over all of our cells. So every month you have a really good idea of what your habits actually are.
Right. And, this is a little hippy-dippy stuff, but think about that.
Like
your cells turn over every 3 weeks, right? And I'm a conservative guy, so don't think that I'm, way out there in left field. But your cells recreate every 3 weeks, right? So what's to say that you can't let those bad cells die and create new good cells, right? It's possible, right? So no, it's not bad.
Well, here's what happens. Here's what happens. So the free radicals are attacking your cells.
Right.
Okay, so what happens is as the free radicals infiltrate your cell, they affect your DNA. So every time your cells replicate, bad things are being replicated. So if you don't take action now to keep them healthy and to stop the deterioration of your genome now and cause those mutations and all the DNA problems, that's what extrapolates out to early aging, to lots of disease and cancers, because the cell itself, the DNA has been screwed with by the free radicals. So they aren't just going to die off. They're going to replicate and cause more and more and more problem, because cells don't just die. First they replicate, and then one dies, and then they replicate, and then one dies.
Okay, so they replicate first and then die. And my understanding of cancer is just a bad replicated cell that refuses to die.
Right.
Just keeps growing, right? So get them under control now. You'll like it. It'll pay dividends for the future, way out in the future. Thank you, ladies, so much for everything you do. Before we go, is there anything you'd like to leave the audience with?
Well, no, I mean, I just thank everybody for watching, and we'd love to, hear from you. And we're looking for partners that are serious about this and understand the magnitude of what we have and where we're going with this. So we have more information that we'd love to send so that you can do your due diligence and see what we're doing. And if maybe for you, it may not be for you, or maybe somebody that, would vibe with it. But it's a very exciting time. And thank you so much, Ken, for having us.
No
it's
problem.
Such a pleasure.
Yeah. So I do want to touch one more topic before we go. 5,000 units in the country. So is it safe to say you're in all 50 states at this point?
In 5,000 North America.
5,000 in North America. So
yes.
The 48 states, you chances are there's a unit in every city or every state in the country. Most likely.
Find out.
Right.
Yeah. Right now we are placing more. We were placing about 150 to 200 a week as of recently.
Okay. And if somebody wanted to do some research and find out where they could go to do you have a database of where these machines are located?
Yeah, just contact us at the number too, and we can get all that information. We can find it for them.
So just text you with, hey, I'm in this city, would love to find out where a scanner's at. Can you give me some information, the closest scanner?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today, ladies. That's it for today's show. Again, my name is Ken. If you'd like to join my text line community, 314-370-2871, get to work.